For more on the Warriors, we bring in our guest from 95.7 The Game. Evan Giddings covers the team, hosts the pre- and the post-game show on 95.7. Friend of the show, you may recognize him from Niner Insider. Evan, thanks for being back with us.
Of course, Ben. Happy to hop on. And I know last time we were talking about the Niners, but I'm glad we get back into the thick of things with the Warriors.
Yeah, it's an interesting time right now for the Warriors, right? We're halfway through the season just about. This team is 20-20. I'm just curious about your thoughts of the first half. You know, they got out to that great start at 12-3. They've come back to earth. What do you make of this team right now and as currently constructed?
I honestly think they've kind of overachieved, at least the first 15 games. Last 15, we've seen what this team can bottom out to. But honestly, I think they're a north of 500 basketball team. Do I think they're a championship contender? No. But I do not think that they're stuck in the doldrums of the last 25 games, which they've gone 8-17. So overall, I think this is one of those Western Conference clubs that, much like the rest, if you look around, they're stuck between 6th and 13th, and they're kind of just one of those other teams, which is a strange place to be if you're a Warriors fan and you're accustomed to competing for championships.
Yeah, I think that we're all feeling that, and I think the team is probably feeling that. Coach Steve Kerr, Stephen Curry, I mean, we've heard some of their comments about, you know, the upcoming trade deadline. It's getting closer and closer. Do you think they need to go in and try and add a big name? Are they close to contending, or do they go the other direction, and is it time to rebuild pretty soon?
I think this is what we're going to look back on as a transition season. And transitioning, I'm not even sure the Warriors know where they're transitioning to. I think that it would be unwise for them to cash all of their chips in this season, because I don't think that there's a player out there that is automatically going to catapult them back into championship contention. But I also think the fact that Steph Curry is playing the best basketball of an age 36-year-old guard in the history of the game is a good sign. I think the fact that Draymond Green can still help you most nights is a good sign. What I am hoping is that they're able to find some sort of consistency from their younger core to legitimately put them in a position to either acquire a big-name star this upcoming offseason or rely more on those players and have them still be competitive. But I think overall, the idea of the Warriors winning a title this season, that is fool's gold. It's a fool's errand, and they would be unwise to cash in, much in the way that Kerr and Curry have talked about it, mortgaging their future for the hopes of winning a 5th title this season, because I just don't think they're at that point. And I also think, Ben, that they know that they're not there.
I'll leave you with this. You know, say that there's no real big changes to the team this year at the trade deadline. What do you see this team doing this year? As far as, do you see them making the playoffs? Are they a play-in team? Are they missing it altogether? How do you see the season playing out?
Contrary to popular belief, I actually do see them making the playoffs, because I think that the effort that they displayed through the first 15 games and the kind of energy, the competitive fire that Kerr, I think, has questioned the most about the last month and a half, that is what I saw in Minnesota. And that, to me, is what I believe they're going to be able to summon, because also they're back in the spotlight. There is no excuses for this team to not make the playoffs anymore, because there is a legitimate reason to believe that someone like Curry or Draymond, I think they've set the tone for the kind of stink they could make if this team is in the same place it was last year, which is sitting on the couch in June and April. So I think that this is a team that I believe can summon enough power to make the postseason. How much they have of a run in them, I don't necessarily see. But they need to prove to us and to themselves that this is a team worth building around as opposed to building forwards for. And that, to me, is the goal for the remainder of this season. As strange as it might sound to a lot of Warriors fans that are accustomed to going deep in the postseason.
Well, Evan Giddings, thank you so much for your time. I think this is your 3rd time on the show now. That officially makes you a friend of the show. Evan Giddings, 95.7 The Game. You can follow him on social media at Evan A. Giddings. Appreciate it. Good stuff, my man.
Hey, anytime. Happy to be a friend of the program. Appreciate you, Ben.